Eddie House joining us. Okay, you watched the game. You're there last night, 3.5 hours. When you got in your car, went to your hotel, in your mind, how do you describe what we saw last night? What happened?
Well, you see the team come out a little hungrier than the other team. For whatever reason, I don't know why. It just looked like Golden State had a little bit more pep in their step. They were everywhere on defense with their rotation, and it just looked like the Cleveland Cavaliers were a little lethargic. And, you know, when you can't have four guys, number one, four guys combined for 3 points, and J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, and Tristan Thompson, that's a recipe for disaster, along with 15 assists to 20 turnovers. That's a disaster. So I'm not going to overreact and be a prisoner of the moment. I think that the Cavs will come out and have a much better game two.
When I watch the speed of Golden State, Cleveland didn't have a steal. Now, I know Cleveland's older, but when I sat there and watched the speed and the athleticism of Golden State, wouldn't it worry you a little if you're Tyronn Lue that you just look less athletic?
I can't stop.
Train just went by, so I barely could hear what you were saying right there. Could you repeat that question to damn Amtrak, man?
Would it
Won't stop
bother
blowing
you
the horn.
if you're Tyronn Lue? Would it bother you that you couldn't get a steal? You didn't make them uncomfortable for a moment, and maybe defensively you just don't match up here.
No, yeah, that would definitely frustrate me. I just think that they weren't in them defensively. If I was the coach, Tyronn Lue, I would be extremely upset that my team didn't come out and play with that effort that you would expect in a game one of a finals. They just, again, looked lethargic. They looked a step late everywhere around. They looked slow. Darren Williams, I mean, he looked like he had a piano on his back. He couldn't get any lift on his shot, and he just it was just a snowball effect. And I think also LeBron, the way he turned the ball, was careless with the basketball. I think that kind of fed into the rest of the players. I mean, I thought Kyrie was fantastic. I thought he was great, but they didn't get much from anybody else. Kevin Love, let me take that back. Kevin Love played a really good game as well.
If you were Tyronn Lue and you watch the film, what is the one change you would make now heading into Sunday?
Well, we know they're switching, so they continue to try to run that switch that pick and roll and put Steph in it, but they weren't switching that. They were hard showing and then getting back to their man. You see how hard Iguodala was fighting over a screen, how hard Kevin Durant was fighting over the screen. That's not a switching play. So they're not switching that. You're not getting that action. I'm going to try to tire out Steph Curry, and I'm going to put him in pin downs, cross screens, put him into a pin down to where J.R. Smith comes off, faces up, then throws it up top, and then runs a pick and roll just to wear him down, have him running through these screens against these big men. Because when you run through these screens, you can get knees in your thigh, you could get an elbow in your chest, and whatever it takes, you got to try to win. Not to be dirty, but you just play basketball. And when you're playing basketball, those things happen. So I would put Steph Curry in as many situations as possible to where he's always running to try to tire him out so his legs could go. Like, that's why I think Klay is struggling with his shot. He's been defending everybody.
Yes.
And his legs is kind of gone. So I would do the same thing to Steph.
Yeah, that's a great point. Klay Thompson looks worn out, has no lift. By the way, so Kevin Durant comes over to Golden State, free agent, signs with him. Is it sending a message to other free agents? Hey, if you want to get rings, you got to leave Utah. You got to leave Atlanta. Does it send that message when you watch that last night, what KD did?
Well, I don't think if Golden State stays together, which I think they will, I don't think there's a team that could be assembled that beats them, except if somebody aligns with LeBron. Otherwise, you'll just be playing for second or third place.
So the money's guaranteed, the rings aren't, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the money's guaranteed, the rings aren't. It's like this. Look, if you Chris Paul, you can make $205 million or $150 if you stay with the Clippers. If you $150 if you go to the Spurs. It's not guaranteed you're going to get that ring, but it's guaranteed that you will get 50 more million if you stay with the Clippers, and you have the same opportunity to try to chase that ring. So, it comes to a point to where are you at in your career? Chris Paul on the way out, he has to take that. Gordon Hayward, who has the opportunity to play many more years, do you take the money? I think you have to go get the money, and then you could look to align yourself with somebody later on. But as long as King James is in the East, nobody's coming out the East except Cleveland. And as long as Golden State stays together, I don't think anybody in the West is going to beat Golden State. So you got to get your money.
Both these teams have blown out each other a number of times in the last 3 years. There's a Hall of Famers and shooters everywhere. Cleveland blew them out 3 times last year. Golden State's blown them out 4 times in the last couple of years. What you saw last night, are you going to change your prediction? What was your prediction going in? What is it this morning?
It's the same. I'm not a prisoner of the moment and going to panic and press the panic button and say, oh, my God, look how that game went last night. I picked Cleveland in 7, and I'm going to stick with Cleveland in 7. Game 1 is it's like this. You know how every game is different in a series. What adjustments are you going to make? And during that game, things change when you make in-game adjustments. So game 1, it's important, yes, but it's not that. I think it's more important for the home team to get that game 1 because then now you have a chance to get game 2. But if Cleveland gets game 2, then it's exactly what everybody thought. You just want to split on the road, and then you want to try to take care of business, and you still home court advantage.
Eddie House, we can hear the train coming around the bend. We don't want to ask Eddie another question because I don't know when. This.
They won't stop blowing the horn.
It's okay,
Is there
buddy.
something on the tracks? Why does it keep beeping?
Wow, man.
I think they're excited that Golden State won. That's what their horn's for.
Yeah.